see you and meet you. I have two things that I'm concerned about. I became disabled, and which means I'm unable to return to teaching, which means my income, I'm to support 2 children on as a single mother. I get $600 a month from SSI. My house is going to go into foreclosure that I've had for 15 years because I can't get any help with it. Now, what are you going to do to help us that are disabled, that are losing what we have?
Ma'am, all I can say is that I am proud to have been one of the major sponsors of the Americans with Disabilities Act. And I do believe that it has made a great progress in helping ensure equal opportunity for all Americans. And I'm proud of that. That was back a long time ago. But the fact is, today, Americans with disabilities and Americans without disabilities are hurting right now and staying in their homes, feeding their families, being able to drive to work. Who's being hurt the most by the cost of a gallon of gas? Lowest income Americans that are driving the oldest automobiles. So we're going to have to fix this economy, but also we have got to look at the Americans with Disabilities Act and make sure that we update it to make sure what it was intended to do and what it was able to do and what it didn't do. And we're going through that process now. But in the short term, I would be glad to look at your case personally and see what we can do to make sure that we're adopting out the American dream and your family and your children live a far better life. And I'd be glad to very much look into it. But my friends, we have got to help people remain in their homes right today. And it's hit Nevada as much as any state in America. People are struggling to stay in their homes. What's my plan? My plan is to say that you should be able, as a homeowner in your primary residence, go down and get a 30-year FHA guaranteed loan at the new value of your home, so that you are able to make those payments rather than at the accelerated value that you were either deceived into paying that loan, or you were simply the value of the home or your economic circumstances don't allow it. You should be able to get that 30-year guaranteed loan. And when FHA guaranteed loan, and when the housing market returns and you decide to sell that house, 1/3 of the profits go to the federal government, 1/3 to the lender, and 1/3 to you. That's the motivation to keep people in their homes. My friends, we've got to hit bottom here on this declining value of homes. Nobody knows it better than the citizens of the state of Nevada, which has been one of the hardest hit. And it seems to me the American dream is to keep people in their homes, and we've got to address it, and address it soon. I'd like to ask one of our oldest members here to attendees.
If you are president, will you raise our taxes?
Nope.
No. And that's one of the big differences between myself and Senator Obama, as you know. And let me just mention one area. Capital gains. My friends, he wants to raise taxes on capital gains. There is 100 million Americans today that have some kind of involvement in capital gains and investments that are associated with it. So basically, when he tells you that he's only going to raise taxes on the rich, pay close attention. Look at the fine print. And whenever these kinds of candidates come and say, we're only going to tax the rich, some people are astonished to find themselves in that category. And so please know that I think the worst thing that could happen to America in these very tough economic times, is to raise someone's taxes. I won't do it. There's one of our crack team here. See, a work release program is doing very well. All you have to do is hold it up to it. There you go.
Mr. McCain, I too am a cancer survivor. I've been cancer-free for 7 years. It was a very hard job. It was the hardest job I've ever had. Mr. McCain, what would you do about stem cell research? I know 2 women in Montana who had it done and are surviving breast cancer to this day. Please, sir, we need the help to help cancer survivors survive this terrible, deadly, ongoing disease, sir.
Thank you. I just a few days ago attended Lance Armstrong's gathering, Live Strong, where advocates and people who are victims and people who are suffering right now from cancer gathered to try to help galvanize support. First of all, let me say, I support, it's a very tough decision, but I support stem cell research. I believe it because I think it's going to help. And as you know, there have been dramatic improvements in stem cell research, which I hope will make that discussion academic. But I also want to provide you with a little hope, because I think it's justified, because the mapping of the human genome was one of the major breakthroughs in history, and probably is less appreciated as to its impact on our ability to literally cure diseases that most all of us had written off as incurable. So I'm excited about what's going on in America in research and study. But I also know that is of small comfort to people who are undergoing the great tragedy and affliction of cancer today. I also am a, quote, survivor, but it's been 8 years in my case too. But if I could ask you for a commercial, and everybody has their personal opinion, if you would listen to my commercial for 1 second, particularly in states like ours, where there's lots of sunshine, stay out of the sun, use sunscreen. If you see a small child without sunscreen on,